Ida Minerva Tarbell was an American author and journalist, known as one of the leading muckrakers. Ida Tarbell was born on November 5, 1857 in Erie County, Pennsylvania. She was the daughter of Pennsylvanian Republicans. She was the only woman in her college class at Allegheny College. She spent a short time teaching and then joined the staff of the Chautauquan, a monthly magazine. After attaining her bachelor's and master's degrees, she was hired to work for McClure's magazine. She soon turned to investigative journalism. She began to work with Ray Standard Baker and Lincoln Steffens. Her investigations of Standard Oil were written in 19 parts, beginning in November 1902 and ending in October 1904. Her book field attacks on Standard Oil and in trust in general. Her book is credited with the hastening the 1911 breakup of Standard Oil. She wrote other books including The Life of Abraham Lincoln, The Business of Being a Woman, and The Ways of Women. She wrote biographies on Albert H. Gary and Owen D. Young. In 1914, Henry Ford and others tried unsuccessfully to have her join the celebrity-laden peace ship to bring an end to World War I. She considered it totally unrealistic and made that very clear. In 1916, President Wilson offered to make her the first woman on the Tariff Commission because he believed that she had written more common sense about the tariff than any man, but she turned this offer down. Ida Tarbell died of pneumonia at age 86. On October 6, 2000, Ida Tarbell was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame.
Welcome to Blast from the Past. Today we are honoring muckraker Ida Tarbell. Ida Tarbell was an extremely influential muckraker of the Progressive era. She wrote several books, ranging from articles on Abraham Lincoln, the Standard Oil Company, and books about women. Her investigations of Standard Oil for McClure's, which ran in 19 parts from November 1902 to October 1904, were collected and published as the History of the Standard Oil Company in 1904. It placed fifth in the 1999 list of the top 100 works of journalism in the 20th century. She lived in Pennsylvania and moved to Paris for work. She was influenced by many people and had many different beliefs on different topics. Today, our special guest, Hakeem Muhammad, is going to help bring Ida Tarbell back.
I'm Hakeem Muhammad, and I'm going to bring Ida Tarbell back. I'll do the magic woohoo, and then you just say the magic word. Hakuna Matata! Hakuna Matata!
Thanks to Hakeem, we have Ida Tarbell here with us. Hi Ida, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Now Ida, where did you continue your education?
I attained my first college degrees at Allegheny College in Meadville, Pennsylvania. I earned my bachelor's degree in 1880 and my master's in 1883. I then moved to Paris to do postgraduate work. I studied at the Sorbonne and the University of Paris from 1881 to 1884.
Around the time Tarbell's Lincoln series was finishing up, she began to do some research for a series on Standard Oil. This company had created a virtual monopoly in the Pennsylvania oil industry. When she was a student, her father had suffered as an oilman because of Standard Oil's unsure business dealings. Partly motivated in honor of her father, she uncovered a long-standing arrangement between Standard Oil and the local railroads that gave Standard Oil enormous breaks on railroad prices. Other refiners, restricted by high freight costs, couldn't compare with Standard and had no choice but to close their businesses. The 19-article series was published as The History of Standard Oil in 1904, and the writings contributed to the company's prosecution under antitrust laws and its eventual breakup in 1911. She claimed that she chose Standard Oil as the subject of her research because it satisfies most nearly the trust ideal of the entire control of the commodity in which it deals, which she stated in The History of Standard Oil Company. However, it is no coincidence that Tarbell chose to write about the same monopoly that ran her father out of business. However, Tarbell's work was well-researched and highly regarded despite his personal interest.
Now I know that your book exposed Standard Oil Company. Well, what connection did you have to it? What incentive was there for you to write this book?
My father was an oilman. We moved from our farm in Amity Township to Titusville, Pennsylvania to work on the newly discovered oil fields. He became the first person to manufacture wooden oil tanks. However, like many other of the oilmen, my father's job was entirely ruined by John D. Rockefeller's Southern Improvement Company, which was the predecessor of his Standard Oil Company. Between the railroads and the oil trust, smaller business owners did not have any kind of shot. There was no material incentive. However, I knew that if I could successfully expose with the big oil businesses, I could bring back some honor to my family. I did it for my father and for my family.
What work did you do in Paris?
Originally, I wanted to use my time in Paris for research and writing. However, while I was abroad, I was hired by McClure's magazine in 1894, where I wrote a series on Abraham Lincoln, which doubled the magazine's circulation.
Now a word from our sponsors.
It's been a pleasure. Different bundles do different things. Mine's fast, reliable, and just flat out entertains me. Mine also saves me cash.
It's the Fairpoint Double Play Bundle. Now save up to $120 when you combine high-speed internet with unlimited nationwide calling or direct TV service. Call 877-99-A-BUNDLE or visit loveyourbundle.com.
Answer the call for a fillet of fish or two. Right now, you can get 2 fillet of fish sandwiches for just $3. Offer ends April 4th.
Tarbell's writing career began with a good start when she met Samuel McClure, the creator of McClure's magazine. She wrote feature articles on important French figures. Some of them included Louis Pasteur and Napoleon Bonaparte. She featured an 8-part series on Napoleon that was successful for both herself and for McClure's. The series was later published in 1895 in Tarbell's book called A Short Life of Napoleon Bonaparte. This book sold more than 100,000 copies. In addition to the Napoleon series, she wrote a series of articles on Abraham Lincoln. This later became a book called The Life of Abraham Lincoln in 1900. McClure then began to reorganize the format of the magazine to include modern social issues. Tarbell and other writers of McClure's began to write significant articles about important issues of the day, such as corporate trust. The goal of these articles was to expose corruption and the abuses of public power. These articles served as fuel for progressivism, a reform movement of the time. President Roosevelt was critical of this type of journalism and labeled it muckraking, a term which stayed with Tarbell for the rest of her career.
And we're back. Now, Ida, other than your articles on Abraham Lincoln, what other stories did you write for McClure's?
Following my Abraham Lincoln series, I also wrote one on Napoleon Bonaparte. However, McClure's was not all I wrote for. I also published 2 books about Madame Roland's revolutionary conduct and stressed Napoleon Bonaparte's modernization of France.
How were you influenced by Madame Roland?
Well, I studied Madame Roland while I was in Paris writing for McClure's. She was the leader of an influential salon during the French Revolution.
Now, Ida, I know that many women during this time supported women's suffrage, and I know that you repeatedly turned down many requests to become involved in women's suffrage and birth control causes. Why was that?
I truly believe that a woman's place is in the home with her family, especially her children. That is where her best contributions can be made. I wrote 2 books, The Ways of Woman and The Business of Being a Woman. I have been told many times that what I do is a contradiction to myself. No matter who I am or what I do, I will stand by my beliefs. Women should be in their homes and out of the workplace. Should be in their homes and out of the workplace. Most of these women are simply setting themselves up for epic failure.
Well, thank you for your time today,
No
Ida.
problem. That is where her best contributions can be made. I wrote 2 books, The Ways of Woman.
What are you doing?